recipe wrong and an orange juice, please, for Mark.
Living down there. It's nice, eh? It's right on the Gower Coast, eh? For donkey's years, he must have a hell of a film, like 4 hours. And I've asked him why we put it together to show it. No, another 10 years ago yet. He said the bloody film must be miles long. I mean, he got my own mother pushing the farm down the road with wood on it, you know, all that thing. He got a film of it. I mean, he took me on my first paper route, and he followed me everybody else I went to, all the way round. Him. Yeah, he's got a film that all the villagers turn out to see because it's.
I'm not here tonight, look.
He's pieced it all together, you see, and he won't show it. He said he ain't going to show it. I must be dead before you show it.
When you're less busy,
It's all primed up. Sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah, bloody well.
enjoy yourself. go back a bit. Go back a bit more. Go back.
You stop it.
Press the button again.
Oh, it stops you taking your thumb off the button.
No, you've got to press it in.
I think it's a unique occasion. I can't ever remember any occasion ever before in this village where we recognise somebody leaving the village. We've recognised them doing all sorts of things in the village, but never leaving the village. And I think that indicates the feelings that all of us, without exception, have got in the way of fondness and respect for Ron, who has lived in the village all his life. Ron and Don, those are the remaining Joneses really in the village, have come from a long line of people who've lived in the village. In fact, I believe this is correct, isn't it, Ron? That your father, your grandfather, on your father's side and on your mother's side, actually lived in the village. So the Joneses have played a tremendous part in this village life over the years, quite uniquely. I don't think any other family in the village can claim that. They're almost dying out, which is a sadness, but there's Donna who's got to do something about it. But she won't be a Jones, that's the trouble. The Tidmarshes, the Rushers, all the village is changing very rapidly, and the old families, which is rather sad, are dying out, or moving in fact, of course, and this is the modern way. But I think that it's a great achievement for Ron to have lived in this village all his life, and to have done so much for this village. He has done a tremendous amount. He's been the backbone of everything. When we had a cricket team, when we've had 2 or 3 of those over the years, football teams, he's been in the backbone of that, the church, the churchyard, the parish council, the fete. Ron used to be, with Horace Lovett, the key men in running that tremendous fete that we used to have after the war, when the horticultural tent used to be the envy of all the villages surrounding it. There used to be endless rows about it, but it was a tremendous part of village life. Well, Ron is not going to go very far away, and I'm sure he's going to come back here very regularly to play in Aunt Sally, deal with the church, and I suspect he'll be dragooned into doing other things as well. And I would like to wish Ron and Margaret the greatest happiness in their venture in Wallingford, and to present something on behalf of the village for you in your future life. And there is something else coming much later on, but it isn't ready yet. So you will in fact receive that in due course. Thank you. Signed by everybody, I hope, in this room.
Oh, I sang. Oh, God. Yeah, I can't see on the
No, I didn't try. Thank you.
You're going to make a speech, Ron?
Yeah.
Speech, Ron.
Well, there's more here than there was at our annual general meeting. We had 4. No, seriously, thank you all. It's all so embarrassing to me. I've had a few tears when I walked in the hall and see you all here. I thank you all for doing this for me. I'm not going to leave the village, as you said. I should be back. And I also thank all those people that have sent me cards of wishing us well in their new home. I'm not going into the reason of why I'm leaving. I've told you all, or told most of you the reason. It's several reasons. But I've always loved this village, but I had to make the decision, and I want to make this quite clear, that a lot of people said it's Margaret, but it's not Margaret that's made it. I made the decision. It was my decision, and we talked about this over the last year, and we found that, and I think that a lot of you, when you get older, will have the same thoughts of living in a village where you've got no amenities, you've got no shops. If I couldn't drive a car, what am I going to do for a pound of sugar, etc.? And in the olden days, I mean, we were self-supporting. I mean, we had our milk, we had our butcher's shop, we had our baker's shop, we had our grocer's shop. You didn't need to go out to the village for anything. And the people could live, old people could live. But you notice now, everyone, or most people, as they get older, are leaving the village. And we made the decision to do the same thing. I've had a lot of things in my life in Drayton-St-Leonard. I don't know any of you can remember War Weapons Week. This was a thing where each village town made so much money for war weapons, and everyone had a target to raise. Do you remember you? Well, I'm just saying this because this is one of the achievements. Now everyone had a target to raise so much money, and they raised it by fights, concerts, dances, etc. And in Drayton-St-Leonard, we had our target was £500. Now, for instance, Southampton was £800. In Oxford was 7,000. In Wallingford was 4,000. We made £5,000 in Drayton-St-Leonard. We had Lord Nuffield to open it. We had the Air Force fly past. We had Wilson's Fun Fair up in the field. We had a barn dance in the evening, all in 1 week, and we made £5,000. And that was history. That was history that went through all the papers, even the daily papers. Pick this up. That was one of my early achievements, just before I went in the army. But I think I can remember one of the finest things that we had in this village, and a lot of you can remember this, was the Silver Jubilee. Yeah. Which we had sports in the field, and then we had a barn dance, and this barn dance, everyone in the village attended. There wasn't one that didn't attend. And all the ladies done up ploughman's lunches. We had a gypsy band. We cleared the barn. I had a week's holiday before, and we cleared that barn from top to bottom. And as I say, every person in this village, and it was one of the finest things. Actually, they asked several years afterwards if we could do it again. But unfortunately, the farmer wouldn't let us have a barn anymore, so that was it, you know. But I think that was one of the finest achievements. And I have up in my glass cabinet with all my Aunt Sally trophies, I have a silver tray presented to me by Kath McMinn afterwards on a Sunday, which I'll always remember for that. That was a big achievement. And of course, all these other, there's lots of things that this village has done. For instance, John Lutchins, for instance, how he collected over 40,000 to keep our church going, I would never know. I mean, that was an achievement which I shall always remember, and a lot more people can remember, because, I mean, for a village to raise over 40,000 to save our church being redundant was the biggest achievement, actually, that's ever happened in this village. Well, that's enough. I think I've said enough. Thank you very much again. Thank you all.
Three cheers for Ronald Murphy.
It's rather de trop to speak after Ron has spoken so well, but there is one thing that really should be said. But before saying it, I just want to tell you about a certain Japanese gentleman. Now, this Japanese, this is absolutely a non sequitur, but it's still worth telling you, because he had made his pile over in Japan, and he decided that the next pile he was going to make was over in England. And so he came over here with his millions and billions of yen and went into the local bank and asked if he could open an account in England. And the bank manager, when he heard how many billions of yen he had, was delighted and said, yes, of course, we'll be delighted to have your account. You know, you'll have to change your yen into pounds, of course. And the Japanese gentleman was quite confident about this, so he changed them all into pounds. Well, he came at an unfortunate moment, and things didn't go too well for him. And after about 6 months, he decided he had enough, and that he was going to go back to Japan, because he certainly wasn't making his second fortune over here. And so he went back to the bank manager and said, sorry, I want to close my account because I'm going to go back to Japan. Well, the bank manager said, well, sorry, but here we are. And so he went through all the calculations, and of course, by the time all the calculations had been done, the number of yen that he was going to get back was very considerably less than the yen that he had brought over here. And he was a bit uptight about this, and he sort of argued with the bank manager and was really obstreperous. For a Japanese who's normally so courteous and the rest, he was really objectionable. And the bank manager looked at him and didn't really know what to do about it, and thought that in the end the best way of doing it was to hold the whole thing pretty smooth. And when the Japanese gentleman said to him, why have I lost all this money, the bank manager simply looked at him and in one word said, oh, fluctuations, sir. At which point the Japanese gentleman got up and said, well, fluct you Europeans too. Well, that was not the purpose of getting up and speaking. What I really wanted to do was tell you that in addition to all the great girls who always produce this beautiful spread for us, and they really have done a fantastic job, and I hope you're going to eat more before you go, because otherwise I'm going to have an awful big breakfast tomorrow morning, and a number of other people are too. What I really wanted to tell you was that this party for you all, for Ron and Margaret and for you all, has been thrown by Hugh Farrant. And I think we'd like to give him a big vote of thanks.
mean, you've only, yeah, I mean, just coming down. I mean, if I'm not around, there's always a girl, the factory that makes them, that they make them. Well, you know that that's
Bye.